All right, we should be live. Hello, everyone. I'll wait to see some hellos in the comments, but I think we're live in this episode 2 of, I can't even remember what we called this show, something with coffee. But there are so many episodes, so many videos with coffee, I need to change the name. Anyways, I'll wait for a few hellos in the chat room, and then I'll tell you what this is going to be about. This is going to be a fun one. So, maybe I'll hop into, no, I'm live. It says live. So, I do have a doubt, though, because there's 0 viewers watching. Oh, there's one. There's one. Okay. So I guess we're good. Okay. This is going to be available as a replay, so I'm not going to let people who are watching replay stay forever. So, wait forever to start. So today I have a friend here who's waiting in the green room, and well, you know who he is because you saw the title of the video. I have a serious doubt as to if we are live or not. I think we are, but I'm not sure. And somebody say hello. This is unusual that there is 0 views, so that maybe the video's unlisted or something. No, it's not. All right, let me check real quick. Yeah, we're good. Okay, everyone, I have my friend Morgan Wick with me today, who I'm going to bring in to the show. And there you are.
Hello.
Hey, Morgan. How are you?
I checked your stream. It is live. So.
Okay, cool, great.
The problem is the guest you have, I think.
No, the problem is that I forgot to send an email.
There you go.
That's the problem. But that's okay. People will
It'll
come
pop
in.
up.
Oh, there we go.
You can watch it later.
View count's coming in.
There we go.
So Morgan and I met, was it 9 years ago? It was a long time ago.
2012, yeah.
2012, okay. So in 2012, we both auditioned for the Neil Morse Band. And I think there were a few of us. He was auditioning guitar players, keyboard players, drummers, I think.
He did drummers, yeah. I think the thought was that Mike Portnoy might not be able to play on some of the touring, so.
I feel bad for, I can't remember his name, whoever got the gig.
Yeah, he actually played, I think, during our auditions, at least during mine. The guy who won on the drums, but then he didn't end up even doing anything else.
I know, but he was good. He was great. So anyways, yeah, we met at the auditions for Neil Morse in 2012 and kind of reconnected online, met at NAMM, the last NAMM maybe of the forever. I don't know, who knows.
It'll come back.
But yeah, so Morgan, you have a channel, the Prag School?
Yes. Well, I just kind of rebranded everything to that.
That's what I thought. I was a little confused. That's why I think it's a great rebrand. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, this last year has been rough for musicians in general, I think. And I play live a lot. Well, I did before all this happened. So I needed something, I think, to occupy my time over the last year. So that's why I kind of came up with this Prag School idea. And it's been a nice way to keep me busy,
Yeah, tell me a little bit about, I know what it's about, but whoever's watching, what's the channel about?
Well, the idea is that I'm teaching just prog as a whole, progressive rock, progressive metal, and doing it more from a compositional, theoretical perspective than from a guitar perspective in general. So it's not really a guitar channel. I do guitar stuff on there, and obviously I'm a guitar player, but it's more focused on prog overall.
Yeah.
So every month, what I'm doing, I've only released one so far, and the next one comes out on Monday, is I write an entire song for a big lesson that I do. So it's on a certain subject. It might be like a rhythmic idea or a chord, harmonic idea, something like that. So I write a whole song that uses that idea a bunch. And then I go through and show how I would take these theoretical compositional techniques and actually use them in music that I write. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. The last one I saw was, I think you did something on Rush or in the style of Rush. I can't remember. I watched a bunch in a row, but that's the one that sticks out.
Yeah, I do some analysis videos too. So I did an analysis video on Rush. I talked about like 8 or 9 different songs and how they use all time signatures and stuff. So.
Yeah, cool. For those who are interested, I think the link is below. If not, I'll add it, but I'm pretty sure I left it there. That's something I've always wanted to do, because being in guitar education, I do so many lessons, which I enjoy, but I feel that the artistic part of me is kind of like forgotten a little bit. I kind of go back and forth.
Yeah.
And maybe I should try that. I feel that it's a good blend of creativity and teaching at the same time. It's so much work, though.
Oh, yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of work. But part of it is like it's a way for me to stretch my creative muscles, especially compositionally, because I write music more than I even play guitar these days. So it's a way for me, it's an outlet for that. So I figure, I put a lesson into it, and if people enjoy it, great. If not, I at least have music that I'm releasing. So.
Yeah. Did you, I remember a post you had on Facebook, that was maybe a year ago or something, where you decided to do this as your main thing. Is that all you do pretty much? Or,
I am a full-time musician, yeah. And how long has it been? It's been about a year and a half now.
Yeah, I remember that Facebook post. Yeah, you had.
And honestly, the majority of my income, before COVID, was playing live. So I've gotten hooked up with a couple of things that are really high paying, which is awesome. But obviously that all hasn't been happening for 10 months.
Yeah.
So
do you teach outside of your regular videos?
I do, yeah. I have Zoom students and a couple of them, I don't have a ton at the moment, but.
It's so hard. I think people don't realize being a full-time musician, it's not picking up your guitar and playing gigs. It's so many different things.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, especially as a self-made musician, like doing stuff online, the amount of different things you have to do is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just for one of my big videos I'm making, I'm writing music, I'm recording it, I'm mixing it, I'm mastering it, I'm making a lesson, I'm filming myself doing the lesson, I'm editing the video, I'm doing all the social media stuff. It's so much stuff, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like you have to be an expert in so many fields now.
Yeah.
Do you have a typical day, a typical work day, or does it change kind of every day?
Well, it's kind of tough depending on what I'm doing, because the creative stuff, sometimes you can't force it, right? Like I can't just say, I'm going to write a song today, because that's not really how it works if you want to write something that's good. So I have a list of things that I need to get done by a certain time. And depending on how I'm feeling and how things are going, I'll choose to focus on one of those. Sometimes I'll go into a day with a certain idea, like I'm going to get this and this and this done, especially if they're things that are very, like editing a video or things that are not creatively based as much.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff, I just kind of let it happen as it happens. Sometimes you have to force yourself to do it, but.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I kind of go back and forth with, I try to have somewhat of a scheduled routine, but, I kind of go back and forth with that and the more go with the flow. I don't know. It's a hard balance. It's a lonely job too. I find it difficult sometimes. Well, especially with COVID, right? But,
it's like usually this would be balanced out by going out and playing gigs, and on doing that, you're also hanging out with all the people that are doing it, and you're going and having dinner or whatever, and there's a very social element to it, and that balances out the working by myself in my basement. But that hasn't been the case, obviously. So it's just some nights I'm working and I can't do anything because I'm just so distracted from everything.
It's not the kind of thing, especially with a creative or teaching job, you can't really force it.
Yeah.
It's Well, you got some fans in the room. Here's Ross says hello.
Oh, all right. Well,
Ross is Morgan is a beast. Yes, he is.
Someone knows who I am. There you go.
Is that a Kemper that I'm seeing there?
It is, yeah.
Okay, is that your main thing?
That is my main thing. Yeah, I've had it for like 4.5 years now.
Awesome.
I actually don't have any, I guess, quote unquote, real amps right now.
Yeah, I have one in the closet that Fender sent me for a review, but it's been sitting in the closet. It's great, but no need for them.
No, and the truth is, even when I'm playing live, like the people that are doing sound are so good that I'm working with anyway. It's like I'm just running direct. I have in-ears. I have a wireless guitar system. Like I haven't brought a cab to a gig in like years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, same. I think in the last 5 years, I probably played, way less than you, but probably 3 gigs, and they were all church gigs. That's it, just like plug in and...
I play at church too, and I go direct there as well.
I go direct too,
The only times I've used a cab is, I played with a couple country artists over the last 5 or 6 years. So some of those gigs would be like a roadie or something, and you kind of need to have a cab to do it. And I have a powered Kemper, so I can run a cab, but...
Awesome.
That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Hey, we have Japan in the house.
Oh, Japan.
Hello, Chirusun. Hello. Thanks for watching.
I'm in
awesome.
Japan.
That's cool. That's one of those countries I really would love to visit sometime.
Yeah. When we're allowed to visit places again.
Right. Yeah. I thought we'd maybe so before we talk about our auditions, I just wanted to kind of revisit because it's fun. I should mention that after this, so in about 45 minutes, we're going to go on your channel, and I'll make sure to leave the link. I think it is below, and we're going to listen to the new Transatlantic that came out today, right?
Came out today, yeah.
Have you cheated and listened a little bit, or?
No, I think maybe I listened to part of one of the singles, but I had an idea that I might do this listening thing for a while, so I decided I was like, maybe I want to go into it completely fresh. So
awesome.
I think
I'm excited.
Yeah, I think with Transatlantic, like I know kind of what to expect. Like they have a very kind of distinct sound. So, but I am always excited to listen to new. Anything that Neil Morris does. So.
Yep. Well, let's talk about Neil. That's where we met a while back. So just tell me a little bit about where you were at the time of our auditions. Were you a student then? What were you doing? What was your life like?
2012. I was living in Moscow, Idaho, which is where I went to school, the University of Idaho. I got a degree in classical guitar. I'm just sitting right back there.
Okay.
I never play it anymore, so my degree is useless. But no, it wasn't. I learned a lot at school. I was still living in Moscow at the time. I'd actually graduated in 2010, but my wife was finishing up school, so I was still living in Moscow, just kind of working a part-time job and playing music where I could. And I didn't actually listen to, I don't know if I listened to any of Neil Morris' solo stuff at that point. I knew him from Transatlantic. That was the first place that I actually heard Neil Morris. So I had some friends that were big Prag fans in town, and they saw that the audition came up, and they sent it my way. They're like, "You got to do this," And I was like, oh, "Sure, okay." I had a big concert coming up, like original concert coming up in a couple of weeks before the audition was due, and I was like, "I don't know if I can even have time to do this."
Yeah.
So I learned. I think my video might have been like one of the first ones that popped up for the audition. I did it. I learned the songs and recorded it in I think 1 or 2 days because that's all I had. So. And I guess
I'm looking for that audition. Maybe we can play a little piece here.
Yeah, sure. It's fine. It's good to watch yourself.
Yeah.
In the past and see where you've improved. It's still on my channel. I believe they're like the first videos on my channel, actually.
Well, I got the It's For You solo.
That was like the shreddy one. Yeah. Yeah, you can play that, everyone.
Let's see if I can figure it out. Let's try something. Share my screen, and we'll see what happens. All right. So.
Oh man, look at that video quality. I don't even know what I filmed it on. I think it was just the internal webcam on my old Mac.
Well, I don't know if audio is going to come through though, so let's see.
Okay.
You'll let me know.
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
Okay.
Oh, man.
It's a 7-minute video, so let's go to the cool parts.
Oh well, the first part I think I did the It's For You
Oh.
first, and then because I combined them in one video.
That's right. Yeah. It's coming. I remember that, learning that song too. I struggled with that one so bad.
I didn't even get it close. I think I just approximated it. It was like, oh yeah, there's the rock right there.
Yeah.
And shredding.
Nice.
All right.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember that piece too. Like we all had to. So what happened was, I think we were giving maybe 3 things. I think there was a full song. Maybe it was, I can't remember what it was called, Creation or something.
So Lifeline was the big one.
Lifeline, yeah, that was the
We had
big
to do
one.
like the whole 11-minute song. There was that solo, and part of the Creation, I think.
Yeah, there was I think there was like a vocal part too. I mean, we had to work on the backgrounds, but there was like
Oh yeah, I actually remember it was
thing.
Author of Confusion.
That was it. Yeah.
And it's this part that has like 4 different layered acapella vocals that come in.
Yeah.
And I remember, because I felt like overachieving, I learned all 4 parts. And then when we went to the audition, like, he didn't even call it. So I actually told him, I was like, hey, can we do Author of Confusion?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we did it, and I did all 4 parts back to back. So
Yep. I remember that.
wasn't enough to give me the gig, but
It was. I think we all did pretty. I know you did well. I know that. I mean, it was kind of the back room. Not when you were playing. I think you did it another day. But what happened is we all flew into Nashville. We're staying in that hotel, all of us, and then had to drive to Neil's home studio, which is his main studio.
Yeah.
And I know I was sitting in the room listening to. I think Andrea came right after me.
yeah.
And then, he picked Adson and Eric.
Yeah.
And then Adson left, and then Eric is still there.
Yeah, I think Eric originally was guitar and keyboard.
He was, yep.
And then he ended up just doing the guitar. And obviously he's a big part of the Neil Morse band vocally, too.
Yeah. But yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was fun. I think it was the first, the first time I met one of my heroes, like guitar hero, or not guitar music.
Heroes.
Yeah, it was cool. I was very intimidated, but it was great. It was fun.
Especially in that kind of element, playing for them too. It's like,
I know.
definitely was a nerve-wracking experience. I'm trying to even remember, I think I practiced a lot. So once I got to actually playing, I'm sure my brain just kind of turned off and just went on autopilot, because like the nerves can just overtake you, I think.
Oh yeah.
Those sort of things.
Yeah. I was kind of the same. I was super prepared, so kind of in the zone when I was playing, but it's cool.
It's interesting looking back on it now. I think at the time, just based on where I was in my life, or as a player and stuff, like looking back, I'm like, yeah, of course I didn't get it. Like, if I think about it, but I was also coming from somewhere where I was the big fish in the little pond, and I always had been, and I had a lot more of an ego, I think, than I do now. And I kind of had, like, I was like, I'm gonna get it. Like,
Yeah.
just like I had the confidence. In some ways, I wish I still had that kind of confidence, but
Yeah. I was very disappointed not to get it, because I really wanted it.
Yeah.
But looking back now, I see that, if I did, end up in that? I mean, there's always this like, there's this plan, like I guess ideal plan, you know, because I had kids shortly after, and you know, I don't know that it would have worked very well. So there's always, you know, the flip side of the coin. Have you done stuff similar to that since, like audition for?
So, I not for like professional acts like that. I'm actually, well, we're kind of on a hiatus at the moment, but I'm part of a progressive metal band called the Sense of Gravity here in Seattle. And I auditioned for them. There's some friends of mine in 2015, I think, after their first guitar player quit. So I mean, I have done auditions in the past in this style of music. So if any of you watching are fans of especially like heavier progressive metal, then Sense of Gravity, check us out. Yeah, but I haven't done like any other levels or auditions quite on that level since Neil Morris. So.
Yeah. Is you said Sense of Gravity? Is that the name?
Sense of Gravity, yeah.
Okay. Is it kind of similar to do you have one album? The
I have one solo album, The Ascent. Yeah, it's definitely in that vein, except for with vocals.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So there is a lot of like death metal and modern influence, 7-string, 8-string guitars. So.
What's so you said you have is it a degree in classical music?
I have a bachelor's in classical guitar performance.
Okay. So listening to your album, which is great, which is awesome, lots of technical stuff, but also very layer-based music, like almost like classical composed. Like it's very well done, arranged. What's your process when you're writing a piece, like one of the pieces on that album? What's your process?
That album's maybe a little bit different than, especially what I've been doing lately. Definitely a little bit heavier and more shreddy than the stuff I write now. But typically, well, it kind of depends on the type of song. But first of all, I have to come up with some kind of an idea. And that might be a guitar thing. It might be just a rhythm. It could be a chord progression, harmony, whatever. So you have to put an idea down of some kind. And then from there, I can just slowly expand that. And then you bring in some secondary sort of themes and ideas. And then the way I write usually is to try to expand upon the good ideas that I have, as opposed to just throwing kind of everything out of the song.
Yeah.
I think a lot of prog is very, like maybe has too many ideas. I don't know. It's like, because prog is kind of a freeing thing where you can do whatever you want, that a lot of people just are like, I'm just going to throw this riff and this riff and this riff and that melody and put it all in one thing. And it often doesn't work very well. So my approach is typically to take an idea that's good and see if there's ways that I can expand it throughout. Like there's a rhythm that's cool. Maybe I can use that rhythm in multiple places or do some variations on it. And the same thing with melodies and stuff. So kind of just, and usually in a song I'll work from front to back. Like I'll come with an idea and I'll just kind of write straight through. And then I'll just go back and refine, cut out stuff that I don't like, or add little things here and there. Yeah.
What do you use as far as, unless there was a real drummer on there, but I think it was maybe, it sounded great.
It's program drum.
Yeah, so what are your to-go tools to write stuff?
So I usually write into either Sibelius or Guitar Pro. I don't write into a DAW. Like a lot of newer people. I think because of my classical background, like I feel much more comfortable writing into notation, and I'm a lot faster that way. So I write into that, and then that gets it about, I think it gets the composition probably 95% of the way there. And then I'll export the MIDI from Guitar Pro or Sibelius, throw it in my DAW, and then put all the nice virtual instruments I have on it. And then if I need to, from there, I can adjust some parts. But typically when it gets into the DAW, it's already, the structure is completely there, and I'm not really changing any of that. I just might change some of the specific sounds.
Yeah. Okay.
And for drums, I believe on the Ascent it was, I didn't mix and master that. It was my friend who did that. He used Get Good Drums, Modern Massive, which is what I use on my own too.
Okay.
I think those are, for modern, especially for modern metal, Get Good Drums is like, I think the go-to these days.
Yeah, I haven't used it, but I've heard a lot of it, and it sounds great. Sounds really good.
You can get really realistic sounding drums, especially if you understand how to mix them properly.
So I'm assuming Well, first of all, when you say you're writing Guitar Pro, are you writing standard notation? Are you writing tabs? What are you doing?
Well, it usually pops up both on Guitar Pro. So
Right, yeah.
I like to be able to see both. Like I like tabs because it's fast for like fingering wise, but it doesn't give you the rhythms in the same way that notation does. So I
Right.
prefer to be able to look at both, and happens when I'm learning stuff too. That way I can get the fingerings right, because on the guitar you can finger one thing 5 or 6 different ways a lot of times, and then I can see the rhythms from the notation.
Yeah. So I'm sure being having the classical background, you're a reader, most likely.
Yeah, I'm not like a great sight reader. I can do some stuff.
Do you have any tips for people who kind of understand how it works, the rhythm division and the note placement, but who is more of a, all right, counting the lines type of guy? This is an A, therefore this is an A. Any simple tips for people who want to get into that? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. And if you don't have any, we can move on.
The real question is, do people actually need to know how to read notation?
I don't know.
I don't know if guitar players, modern ones, even need to. I almost think that like learning how to use MIDI in a DAW is more applicable than reading notation. I do it that way because that's kind of what I'm used to doing. But I think a lot of the younger players I see, they're oftentimes writing just directly into their DAW.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. It's been a while since, when you learned how to read music like 15 years ago or whatever. I'm trying to think about, or longer than that. I'm trying to think if there's what I did.
I mean, that's okay. I'm totally putting you on the spot.
It's kind of like, how'd you learn the notes on the guitar? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know. Like figure out the octave shapes.
Yeah, and it's true. It's not a skill that you need. It can be helpful to kind of understand, like you were saying, like the rhythm. That's what I use it for mostly.
Yeah.
And honestly, even tabs, it's like usually your ear kind of guides you. And but yeah, I did have a question about. So I'm kind of asking everyone for my own sake. Is there anything guitar-wise that you're working on these days that you're interested in pursuing? Guitar-wise? Anything?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of mostly feel like it's been more of my time just writing music. So any guitar-related thing is mostly for the purpose of either writing something that I like the sound of, or just having the ability to play whatever I write.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're dealing with really complex music, so it's like I have to keep my chops up to a certain level just to even be able to like record a lot of this stuff. So for me, what I've really been exploring lately is some crazy rhythmic ideas and more interesting harmonic ideas, chords and scale choices and all that. So it's not really like just guitar related. Obviously, that kind of stuff is can be done on any instrument. But so like, I'm trying to think of something specifically, or even if you just take like. Like we think about if you write like a melody, just in E minor or something. Everyone's familiar with like Metallica style.
Yeah.
And I love that kind of stuff. But what I'm trying to do these days is see if I can get slightly different sounds. So one scale I like to use, for instance, it's a mode of the melodic minor. It's the 6th mode. So it's really like the natural minor scale with a flat 5. It's like you can still get those kind of metal sounds, but it's just a little bit more interesting and different. So I'll often do that kind of stuff when I'm writing, just see if I can find something that's maybe just a little bit away from what you traditionally hear. So.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I am kind of the same. I haven't really worked on my instrument lately. Well, for the last year or so, it's been more, besides lessons, more writing. And that's always been my love too, just writing music. Seeing this as a tool to bring out those ideas that are inside. And and
then, I don't know. I mean, I think I realized at some point that I was never going to be that person that's going to, garner a huge following based on my like insane guitar skills. I'm not Rick Graham or something like that.
Right? Yeah.
It's like I think my strengths lie in the combination of my guitar abilities with the writing part of it.
And I think that's the most interesting appeal to me, at least, when I'm listening to other artists. It's what they have to say. It's not how they use their pencil. It's like, what do they say with it, right?
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to post, 15-minute Instagram clips of you running through a scale really fast or whatever. But
yeah,
I think it's a lot more meaningful to like create full pieces of music that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to listen to my Instagram clip 10 years from now, but I might listen to the song that I wrote 10 years from now and be proud of that.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know anything about the transatlantic album? Is it a concept? I don't know anything about it.
So there's two versions. There's the extended version, and we're obviously going to do the extended version because you can't go halfway when you're listening to Prog. I mean, I would imagine so. I haven't read much on the subject matter, but it seems like most or all the transatlantic albums, concept albums, kind of. I think maybe not, but and then Neil Morris, a lot of his albums are concept albums too. Well, the first song is called Overture, so that makes me think then, it's probably some sort of concept overall, because why would you have an overture if wasn't connected?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I don't know much about the band. I think I had the very first one. Was it just called Transatlantic? I can't remember.
The first one was called
Bridges something?
Bridge
maybe?
Across Forever.
Yeah.
That's actually the second album, and that's my favorite Transatlantic album.
Okay.
I honestly think it's one of the best prog rock albums ever. If you haven't listened to it, you should go listen to it.
That's the one I know.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's not the first one. The first one I listened to was The Whirlwind, which came out in 2009.
Okay.
And that album's awesome as well. I prefer Bridge Across Forever.
It's one of those. I can't remember which one. But hang on, let me check real quick.
Yeah, the Bridge Across Forever has, I think it's only 3 or 4 songs. 2 of them are like 30 minutes long.
Yeah. Let's see. But anyways, that's what. So my brother was really into prog. He's the one who was listening to that, and let's see. Yeah, I can't remember which one it is. Anyways, that's what got me into Neil Morse too, and then Spike's Beard and all that.
I'm less familiar with the Spock's Beard stuff, although I have listened to some of it.
Yeah, I feel that they have like different eras.
Yeah.
Even the music has different.
Transatlantic, cool because you get a little bit of the blending because you have Mike Portnoy, so you still have like his kind of really aggressive drumming, and there are some riffs and stuff, but it's very much less kind of. It's not as heavy as some like the newer Neil Morse band stuff, which is obviously a little more influenced.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, there's so Portnoy is on drum, Neil Morse is singing, playing a bunch of things too, I'm sure.
Yeah, he does do some singing.
There's a guy from Flower Kings, can't remember the name. And there's a fourth guy from another band.
Roy Stolt is his name?
Yeah.
And then the bassist is from Marillion.
Right, okay, yep, that's it. Yeah.
So those are 2. Flower Kings are cool. If you haven't listened to them, I'd check it out.
Yeah, I've heard one album that I really like. So something about Adam and Eve and stuff, but I can't remember the name of it.
And the guy from Flower Kings, he's kind of like a prog legend in Sweden. That's where he's from. And Marillion is a very famous 80s.
Yep. Yeah. So my first band when I was 15, our drummer was a Marillion fan, and got to know all about them, and really I like the old Marillion stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of that 80s pop era of prog. That's maybe my least favorite kind of.
Yeah.
It's like when Genesis turned into a prog or like a pop band.
Yeah.
It's fine, but I'd prefer to listen to the older stuff.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think a lot of the reason why I like that, the Marillion thing, and probably a lot of music too, is that just I can associate it with periods of my life, and it's really the attraction to it.
I think that's music in general. It's like certain albums, if you have a nostalgia for them,
totally,
they instantly take you back to where you first heard them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. It's amazing how music can. It's like the smell, like it just brings you places, or taste, or like it's one of those senses that just kind of carries so much.
Yeah. Well, like the Whirlwind by Transatlantic, I've listened to that mostly, I think, my freshman year of college. So like anytime I hear that, I just associate like being at college, in my dorm room or whatever.
Yeah.
So this should be fun to listen to this new one and see what you think. As you get older, obviously your tastes change and stuff, but I'm still a big Transatlantic fan, so it should be interesting.
Which I guess you should be careful to what you're listening to, because if you're having a really good experience and you're listening to, I don't know, inserts album that you really don't want to be associated with, be careful, because you're going to start loving it. But yeah, it's true.
No, I mean, like I don't have any guilty pleasures. That's not like a thing that I even.
No, I know. Yeah.
It's funny, like when I was younger, I feel like much more of a snob about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, this isn't blah blah blah.
Yeah.
This is boring pop music.
We were all there. There's like this social pressure that you feel more when you're younger, and
and I don't feel that anymore. And like, what I found for myself as a musician is the more that I'm allow myself to be open to listening to whatever, like the better musician I can become, and the more influences I can draw from.
Yeah.
Like the first time I went to audition for a country band, I was like, seriously, like this is so beneath me or whatever. But after doing it for a long time, I learned a ton doing that. And now I have a whole different like thing I can bring into my own music. It's like I'm not going to write a hoedown country song, but some of that stuff might creep into how I play.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
You got to keep an open mind.
Yes. Is there? I'm just curious here. Outside of music, do you anything you love doing, passionate about, or what are your?
I've been playing too many video games since COVID. I have 2 small children, so the time to do things on my own is limited.
Yeah.
Outside of music, I love to hike. I live just north of Seattle, so there's a lot of outdoor activities here in the Pacific Northwest. So we do a lot of hiking. I love to travel. Which you can do more in normal times. But we have still been little trips here and there this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, just trying to get outside and get away from disconnect, I guess. From
Do you still play video games? Do you have time, or?
Oh yeah.
What do you play?
Well, I finally 100%ed Breath of the Wild.
Nice. 100%?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite the accomplishment.
The accomplishment is meaning like wasting hundreds of hours. I'm not a serious gamer. I just have a Switch, so I play.
Yeah.
I do Nintendo games. It's just fun to kind of like, especially when you're stuck in your house for so long. It's like just go into a different world for a while. I got Skyrim for the Switch, so I played that for a couple hundred hours this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm a Switch guy right now, but I kind of go back and forth between Switch and it was PS4. Now I'm looking at the PS5, but I'll play the games that I want, the important releases, and then exchange it for usually a PlayStation, and then go back to.
I can see myself. I can see myself like really getting into that world. If I didn't have kids or something, like I love playing video games, and I can see myself being really serious about it. But that would take away from doing music, which is kind of what I want to do. So.
Totally, yeah.
You gotta prioritize.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. That and board games. I play board games too. I love board games.
Yeah, I don't do that too often, but I enjoy doing that as well. And reading. I should read more, but I do like reading.
Yeah, so I hated reading I'm 43, and for 41 years I was not a reader, and then suddenly I picked up. It was just the right book. I started reading fantasy books, and I'm like, oh, I'm all in. Now I want them all.
That's mostly what I read too, is sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah.
Right now I'm reading the Expanse series. So
who is that from? I don't have any background in reading.
Well, it's 2 guys, and they have a pen name that they use for writing books. But it's a TV show actually that's on Amazon Prime called The Expanse. It's like, I don't know. This is a bold claim. It might be the best sci-fi show ever.
Okay,
at least in my opinion.
I'll check it out.
It's based on a series of books, and it's really, really good. So very like realistic sci-fi. So.
The Expanse. Cool.
Expanse, Highly recommend it for anyone who has either read the books or watch the show. Do both.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm reading the Wheel of Time classic.
That's a classic.
That's what like. All right, so I did not read at all, and then, of course, I pick up the first book of a 13-book series.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm hooked. It's great.
And it's like
I
1,000
really like
pages
it.
or whatever.
Yeah, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've read those. Obviously, read the Game of Thrones books, at least the ones that are out. The Name of the Wind, the Kingkiller Chronicles. Those are awesome. Maybe we should read those. Yeah, so there's some really high fantasy that I've tried to read that is like so complex. I'm just like, I don't know if I can even like understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that kind of goes in line with Prog. It's like
that's what I was gonna say.
Everything is big and epic and like over the top, and that appeals to me.
People are saying that there's an echo, and it's probably my fault because I need to use headphones. I'm not hearing any echo, but are you?
A little tiny bit. I don't know if that's on my end though.
All right, I'll use that, and I'm definitely using that for the second part, which is going to be on your channel.
Yeah, actually, I can put headphones on. Give me a second.
And for those of you who are joining us, and I hope you do, the idea is to discover the new Transatlantic album on your channel. However, if you want to make the most of the experience, you should have the album too, because we're not going to stream the album.
So it is up on all of the streaming services. Like I have Apple Music and it's up right now. So if you have Spotify, it should be up too.
Yeah.
I would guess that's probably what most people are doing. You should buy it though and support them because that's important.
Absolutely. Yeah. But we're not going to stream that. So if you're logging in, hoping that cool, I'll listen to the album for free.
No, I don't want to do that to the band and also the copyright.
Sure, yeah. But the idea is to kind of like listen together and just.
So I have it set up on my. I'll have the album up in a big window on the screen. You can see what song wrong, and you actually have the timestamp too. So if you want to like jump in and follow along with us, that's gonna be.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna do like one of those reaction videos or whatever.
Yeah.
Like with the cheesy thumbnails, like.
Right. Yeah.
This album blew my mind. Like that kind of stuff. Actually,
no, that's not what we'll do.
We'll just. I mean, I'll definitely comment on things that I think are cool, like, that was awesome or whatever, or even maybe try to explain something if I can pick up what's going on right away. But
yeah,
it's mostly just to kind of, I don't know, enjoy listening to it together.
Exactly. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Well, that'll start in about 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So
we should probably
maybe that gives me time to brew another cup of coffee.
Yeah. Yes.
And then let me make sure that the link to that event is below here.
Yeah, and you can always just if people just search in YouTube, the Prag School should be like the first that pops up too.
And it's in the description.
Yeah, the link is in the description. That's all.
And I'll leave that in the chat too. So yeah, everyone, thank you for stopping by. I just posted the link in the chat box. If you want to click on that and wait for us, cool. And we'll have fun listening.
Well,
thank you so much for being here. And I will see you in a few minutes on your channel.
Yeah, sounds good. All right.
All right. Bye.